Here, man.
Want to have a proud, I just want to have a very respectful debate with you, man. And
Sure.
Ultimately, whatever I ask, I give the glory to Jesus Christ for, man. I'm just very thankful to be here to talk to you right now.
All right, awesome.
So, man, it's great to see you in person. So, anyway, I have a major question for you. I wrote it down because I want to make sure ultimately that I'm not just spitting up here my emotions of how I feel, rather having some logical fact. So, Myron, you've spoke critically about illegal immigration and border enforcement, but what's your stance on expanding U.S. immigration system to include more room for legitimate asylum cases and a clearer pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants already living in our country? Do you believe America should modernize and grow its immigration system or tighten it further?
Yeah, so good question, really good question. So my stance on immigration is this. And for those of you that don't know, just quickly give you guys my background. Before I did this podcasting stuff, I was a special agent with Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, for 7 years as an agent, and I worked for the agency a total of 10 years, 3 years as an intern, and then 7 years as an agent. I started my career in Laredo, Texas, where I did everything from drug trafficking to human trafficking to money laundering, cartel violence, kidnappings, all that type of stuff. So I did that for a very long time. Then I started doing the podcast stuff where I talk to women and lose even more hair. So when it comes to immigration, it's a topic that I'm fairly familiar with. So my thing is this. We need to reform our immigration system. It's completely broken. The INA is outdated. We need to update it for modern society now. So I do think that we need, an immigration moratorium for somewhere between anywhere from 1 to 10 years. And we need to reform our entire immigration system and our visa system because it's completely broken and we're getting beat on so many different angles.
Because I just feel like that's the one area Trump needs to kind of be better at. I mean, look at what he's brought to the country with the $17 trillion of investments that he's bringing into America and, making America great again.
The system is absolutely broken and exploited. And unfortunately, I wish the American public knew more about this. But it's not just us getting beat on the southwest border of them coming in. We also have an enormous amount of people that come here legally and then overstay their visas. I know a lot of obviously we're here in university. Some of you guys might be here on an F1 visa. That's a visa that's heavily exploited by foreign nationals all the time, J1 visas. Also, a lot of people from first world countries that have visa waivers like Canada, Australia, England, etc. A lot of these people come without any type of documents and just overstay. So that's another problem as well when it comes to immigration, where lots of people abuse the system that come here legally as well, not just people that come in illegally.
Yeah, and it's just a big detriment to America, and I mean, I don't know. It's very crazy. And I have one more thing for you.
Sure.
I'm very respectful of your religion, you believe what you believe.
Yep.
So my question is, and I would love insight on this. Jesus says that he's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one will come to the Father except through me. As being Muslim, right?
Yeah.
How do you take that and not only deepen your own faith, but also strengthen other people around you by seeing that? Because the Bible has been a credible book, as several hundred people have written it, but the nuances of how it's all interconnected. I mean, I just kind of want your opinion on that and just. So
I'll be honest, I'm not really a religious guy. I have an enormous amount of respect for anybody from the book, whether Jewish, Muslim, or Christian. And that's in our faith as well. But I don't really consider myself that much of a religious guy. I grew up Muslim, but am I devout? No. I am studying it in other religions as well, because I do think it's important to understand different religions, especially when it comes to understanding geopolitical affairs as well. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I'm not a super religious person at all. But for those that are religious, I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic way to live your life and have some type of guidance.
Do you ever feel like you'd fall into the political spectrum if you had a chance?
Into the political
run for office and anything like that,
man?
Because I feel like people forget that you're allowed to have your First Amendment right. Because people will crap on you and be like, "Oh, he just wants to tell women to go make a sandwich." That's okay. But people in America, that's why it's the best nation we ever have. The God-given freedom of religion, and pursuing anything that you want. It's the greatest country ever. So.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's what sets us apart from these other countries. You look at the UK, people go to jail for Twitter. You know what I mean? The UK is cooked. Canada's cooked.
It's sad.
We're by far the best country. We have our problems with crime and everything else like that, but I do think in general, when it comes to making money, opportunity, the United States is by far the best. I still think we're the best. But getting into the political scene, I don't know. I mean, I'm really controversial, but I do think that we are getting a shift here. We've seen the explosion of my buddy Nick Fuentes. And people are starting to really realize that the old way of governing and this unequivocal support of Israel and the neocon mantra is kind of dying out. So we might get a new America where we're actually going to put America first, and we might need more radical people at the forefront. So we'll see what happens. But I'll tell you this, man, if I ever got into office, we'd cut that crime immediately. I think that's one of the biggest problems we have in the United States.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the sanctuary cities that are being
I think we need to bring torture back, if I'm going to be honest.
To what degree, if I may ask? Like what do we legitimize as proper thing for, like, you know, people who are facing crimes? Like, you know, I very much take it from a biblical sense of an eye for an eye, and I believe like the death sentence for people that take a life to have their life taken.
Yeah.
Because,
so
you know,
what if I became Fuhrer or president? What I would do is or Attorney General or whatever. I think what I would do is I'd bring torture back. I'd start a new channel. I'd start a network. It'd be called the WBNN, or the Waterboard Niggas Network. And what we would do is, is anyone that assaults children, school shooters, crazies that like stab women on trains, right? Like the other guy that did that in I think it was North or South Carolina.
Yeah.
You got to just torture these guys and publicly do it, because the reason why is that these guys, a lot of times just executing them isn't enough. You need to set a public example, and then also you need to deter others. And the problem with a lot of these criminals is they're egomaniacs. So them being tortured in front of a bunch of people and suffering and looking like a bitch will make them think twice about it, and it might deter other people, because, you know, if you're going to sit there and you're going to, you know, because I used to investigate pedophiles as well. One of the things that HSI does is child exploitation, big case, arrested many pedophiles and very violent individuals. Some of these people need to be made an example out of, and just executing them in front of their family members isn't enough. And I think that's what we need to do to send a very strong message that if you do this, you're going to eternally suffer just like the families you've made. It's not enough for you to just go ahead and be like, oh yeah, let's just give them a lethal injection and call it a day. Fuck that. You
like
got to
releasing all the criminals that keep doing countless crimes in like California, and like all these other Democratic-led states. It's just crazy to me.
You got to go
sorry
hard
that
on
I'm
crime.
talking a lot.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So
you got to go hard on
whenever
crime.
you need to. So
no, you're good. But just I'll end it here. You know, if you're going to go ahead and murder people, right, like what we saw on that train, for example, where you just stabbed that woman in the neck for no reason. You not only do you not deserve freedom, you deserve to be tortured in front of everyone, so other people can know that this is going to be completely intolerable. And I'd make sure it was for free as well. We'd stream it live. You know, stay sponsored, of course. You don't got to pay no pay-per-view, and that way you can look and see this is what happens to you when you hurt innocent people.
Well, Myron, thank you for your time. God bless you, and I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man.
Have an amazing night.
Thank you. Who's up next? All right.
How you doing, Myron?
What's up?
Assalamu alaikum. How you doing?
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I was just gonna ask. So you're a Muslim. So I was gonna say, like, why don't you go ever try to go to Saudi and do Umrah?
One day.
One day, inshallah.
One day, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say I really enjoyed the 6ix9ine podcast too.
Oh yeah.
You know, I liked it. Yeah. I liked because like, you know, the stories he was giving back from what happened to him. You know, it was good to hear your guys' feedback too. You know, just telling.
Yeah. No, it's funny because like for those that are not aware of what he's talking about, I'm sure you guys all know Tekashi 6ix9ine. When he got arrested for that RICO case back in 2018, I was still on the job and I was out of the Miami field office, and it was our New York field office that arrested him. So I had known some things about the case, and for example, like how he was planning to go to Connecticut to go gamble, and you know, they had put a hit on him at that point, so they had to arrest him before he went to the casino because it would have been a nightmare to surveil that. So it was kind of interesting to like have those two worlds clash, and me tell him in person, like, yeah, bro, this is why they arrested you.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, that was a good podcast. I was also gonna say, what do you mean with the U.S. How we're all not like, we don't belong here? We're all like guests or something like that.
Yeah.
I heard you talking with Sneeko about it. I
yeah.
just
So
never
my position is that the United States is not a Muslim country.
Yeah.
It is a Christian country, right?
Country,
and even at best, I would say, like, if you're gonna go.
I was gonna say, why do you see it as that though? Like, do you just see it? Like,
well, it's founded by Christian Protestants. Like, it was literally like.
I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to.
It was no, you're fine. It's fine. It was based on a lot of the laws that we have are based on the Bible, right? And it was founded by Christians. Now, of course, they had the separation of church and state and all this other stuff. But the reality is, even if you look at this as a secular country, it still has Christian ethics and a Christian culture embedded into the country. So I look at it like, as Muslims, we're here as guests. We're the minority, which by definition means we're here as guests. And I look at it like praying publicly in significant locations of American culture just doesn't look good, because they're playing the Adhan loud in certain cities. They're publicly praying in places like the Times Square, obstructing traffic. Like, that's just frowned upon and not really fair.
Yeah.
So my thing is I don't have a problem with worship at all. I don't have an issue with it. I just think like, praying in culturally relevant areas and documenting it and being loud about it and obstructing other people's, way of life is kind of disrespectful and rude. And I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. Well, it was good talking to you, Myron.
Good talking to you too, man. Alaikum salam. Who's up next? Yo.
Respect. So a few days ago, I saw what I think was kind of a new clip of you and Steven Crowder talking.
Yeah.
And it kind of struck me when you said, I think wait until marriage is like the ideal.
Yeah.
But kind of blended in with what I understand to be your worldview on this topic is, given the effects of feminism, promiscuity, maybe more so female promiscuity, the best thing guys can do is kind of try to like self-actualize, get up into that top 10% most desired status, and then have your say, like have a body count of 30, 40, 50 women so you can learn to understand women. And so I'm sure for like most men here, that kind of sounds like a fun journey, at least at the individual level.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, in terms of at the societal level, is that kind of encouraging the top 10% of men to effectively create a new class of promiscuous women? Does it push us away from healthy two-parent families toward something more polygamous, like King Solomon having however many 100 wives and concubines and whatnot?
Yeah, no, I totally understand your concern, and I can quickly, for people here that might not be familiar. So my thing is this: I tell guys, I don't think guys should really think about marriage or being in a serious relationship unless they have 5 things in place, and those 5 things are simply 35 years old, make 6 figures a year, have 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in shape, and have had sex with 50 women. Now, obviously, a lot of people are like, 50 women, holy crap, what's going on here? And the reason why I say this, guys, is because we live in a new normal, and that new normal is women have way higher standards than they did before. Since women can attend college, which they are at a higher rate, graduating at a higher rate, earning more money, I predict in the next 10 to 20 years, women are probably going to start surpassing men in almost all fields when it comes to earning income. Guys need to step up because women are, by definition, hypergamous and look for a man that's better than them. So if you have these 5 things in place, you're going to be what I call an entry-level, higher status guy, where you'll be able to enter the dating market from a position of power, where you can go ahead and pick a partner suitable for you, right? That's kind of why I say these things. Now, obviously, you're coming back with a very, good criticism, like, hey, doesn't this create, a problem that we're trying to avoid with, more promiscuous people, etc. And this is kind of the ugly part and the ugly reality, which is anytime I dispense advice to one party, it's going to put the other party at a disadvantage, right? Because dating and relationships in general is an adversarial situation. I know some of you guys are like, what are you talking about, Myron? It is, because your job as the man is to attract the girl with as little effort as possible, right? If you get her to come to your dorm and smash you, it's a W. If you got to take her on 7 dates, well, that's an L for you. But, you're trying to do the least effort, right? On her end, she's trying to extract the most time, resources, and energy from you before she gives you any type of sexual access. It's a dance between the two genders. So anytime I dispense advice to men, it's inevitably going to put women on their back foot because I want guys to have the advantage. Now, when it comes to this situation here, my thing is I want guys to have choice, and I want them to be able to decide how they want to, move. Because the problem is that we live in a society now where if a guy gets in a relationship with a girl, right, marries her, gives her his resources, etc., that puts you in a bad position because we have a family court system literally set up to destroy every single one of you guys, right? Even with a prenuptial agreement, you can still lose everything. So I just want guys to go in with their eyes wide open because the marriage institution that we used to have, that was set up in a certain way where women didn't behave in a certain way like they do now. It was set up for women that were traditional. But now women aren't traditional, but they want traditional benefits while simultaneously being able to exercise modernity, divorce rates, etc. So to bring this all full circle, I see what you're saying. Like, hey, are we, perpetuating the problem even further? My thing is, I'd rather the guy get to a position where he's like, okay, I'm ready to settle down, and he has the prerequisite knowledge of how to deal with women accordingly, and then he picks the right one to start a family with.
I got you, man. Respect. Thanks a lot.
No problem, man. Appreciate that. I hope that makes sense.